We're here. So some of y'all are in here, and thank you very much for joining us here. It's Wednesday, so it's time for our Ravori Sports Podcast. Like and subscribe all of our social media content. We got 99 YouTube subscribers. Let's make that 100. Throwing in the middle of the street or before the Super Bowl on Sunday, which was the goal. So thank you very much for joining us here. We're live right now on Facebook, on Twitch, and on X. Right now, we're working on the kick, getting that squared away. So it'll be uploaded on here as well. Just won't have the live feed as well. Right here. Not WW. Although we did have a good Royal Rumble here. Roman Reigns actually won the Rumble, challenging CM Punk. So we're going to have a good main event there. But 2026 preseason predictions is coming the week of the first Sunday before the MLB. So definitely check that out in March. This Sunday, we're going to have Super Bowl coverage before and after the game. We're going to be on at 3 o'clock before the game as well. So we're going to be breaking down. We're going to do a tail of the tape of the Seahawks and the Pats. And this, we're definitely going to go ahead and do that. After the game, we're going to be live right after the game is over. So we're going to go ahead and do that on Sunday. Saturday, we're going to have our first Ravori Sports Conversation. We're going to do that all up until the next football season, right around August. Will be our last one. We're going to have Smoking Jeremy B on from Driving to the Top Productions, talk a little Lions football. We're going to talk football in general. I think his story about why he became a content creator is fascinating. You don't want to miss that because that's really, I think, fascinating. That's going to be on Saturday night, 8 p.m. So definitely check that out. Our Ravori Sports rebrand. So we're going to go ahead and check that out. Ravori Sports website rebrand. We're going to talk about the website. We did make some changes. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Fanatics Link as well. So, and we're also going to talk about the blog. So I've decided we're just going to talk a little bit about that. Some of you that don't know, we're now blogging Ravori Sports every morning at 6 a.m. So definitely we can do that. It posts and publish every morning at 6 a.m. Tomorrow we're talking about A.J. Brown and his Derrick Henry, shouting him out going into Baltimore, possibly because he's definitely getting out of Philly as well. Genesis Notary Services /Facebook.com. So definitely check that out as well. And see Charles Harris. We are LegalShield.com. All right. So let's go ahead and get starting here. A lot of coaching hires we saw today. T. Martin is not going to be coming back. Zach Orr is not going to be coming back. Zach Orr could be going to New York with John Harbaugh. I think that's a definite possibility as well. Anthony Weaver. So one of our very own is going to be the defensive coordinator for the. I think I put offensive coordinator. So defensive coordinator. So Anthony Weaver understands play like a Raven. Defensive numbers kind of down in Miami, but otherwise he's had a lot of success. He was drafted by Eric DaCosta and Ozzie Newsome. So this is a guy that's familiar with exactly what you're trying to do. Definitely a head coaching candidate as well. Had, for the most part, success as a D coordinator. Got a head coach interview. So absolutely, that's a guy you're absolutely looking at. Declan Doyle was hired as the offensive coordinator. So we talked We talked a little bit about that last week. We talked a little bit about Declan Doyle last week. 29 years old, so definitely the youngest play caller in the NFL. Emphasis on the word play calling with that. Emphasis on the word play calling. So he left the spot with the Bears, probably because these young coordinators are getting wise. They need to become play callers in the full sense. They need to get the full credit. Had he stayed in Chicago, he wouldn't get the credit with that. So definitely keep that in mind. So Declan Doyle and Anthony Weaver, it's official now as they are the offensive coordinators. So we are contractually obligated to go over that as well.
Do you come home with this every week?
All right. So let's go ahead. So we've been talking about last week. We talked about what the Ravens need are. We talked about who free agents might be leaving. So now let's talk about what's on the board, right? So we're going to talk draft. We're going to get to that starting next week. But let's talk about free agency. Free agency is coming a little bit sooner. So we'll go ahead and start with the free agent talkers, and we'll talk about the draft talkers. We'll do the mock drafts and all that. And all that stuff. And all that stuff. So let's go ahead and get that squared away. Who's out there as far as targets? So again, let's reiterate last week what the needs are and aren't. Starting QB, running back, inside linebacker, safety, nose tackle. Kind of covered that. You're not going to replace Lamar. You're not going to replace Derrick Henry. You got the two solid guys, Trent Simpson inside, along with Teddy Buchanan, Roquan, safety. You did that in the first round last year, and you did go ahead and extend Travis Jones, etc. So probably maybe depth pieces only there. Free agents you might be looking at, we won't go over that, but as far as more in depth, but backup quarterback, punter, fullback, defensive end, center. Tyler Huntley is a free agent. See if they decide to bring him back. Punter, you got Jordan Stout's contract. Have to see if you decide to bring him back. Pat Ricard, I don't know. Big deal signing Declan Doyle. There was no fullback in the Bears offense. So I don't know if they're targeting or not. I don't know if you bring him back or not. That's the biggest. I'm not sure as well. Defensive end, good news on Matt Buke, 25 years, tweeting out. Maybe he's going well. Possibly can come back. So possibly you don't need to go get a D end and look at it as well. And center, again, the contract issue with Tyler Linderbaum as well. All right, free agents. So least to greatest. So this is the position on targets as well that I think you need the most. We already just talked about A.J. Brown trade. You never know. A.J. Brown's certainly going somewhere. You are going to have this list be a little fluid in the sense of guys are going to get released, etc. after the Super Bowl. We'll see. But these are the guys that are going to hit the market or hit the franchise tags, etc. here in a couple of days after the Super Bowl as well. Let's go to the bottom. Let's start at the top. George Pickens might be the number one free agent in all of football as well. All pro season. Maybe you could argue last season he was the best receiver in the league. He's going to be a free agent. This is fascinating always because we never know what Dallas and Las Vegas are going to do, right? Dallas is so unpredictable in everything they do. So I don't know what Dallas is going to do here. I'm not sure. I'm really not. So we'll see what Dallas does. Whoever it is going to be after George Pickens if the Dallas Cowboys will go ahead and let him go. Alex Pierce for the Colts. So I think Alex Pierce, I think, is interesting. A lot of the people around the league like him. I'm not as convinced. I think he was with a good quarterback, fair system, good quarterback. I think he definitely had good rapport with Daniel Jones last year. I mean, you saw that. So Pierce kind of overtook Pittman as the number one receiver. I'm kind of thinking they're going to resign, but interesting put him on the board. These last three guys, I think, will be available. Deebo Samuel from the Commanders. Swiss Army knife. I think he's a player. I don't care what you have at receiver. You can always plug a guy like this in. So it'll be interesting to see. He is about 30 years old. So that'll be interesting. I think these two guys are solid. Jawan Jennings had 9 touchdowns this season for the Niners. Interesting out there as well. Rashid Ali, we're going to see him in the Super Bowl on Sunday. I think this guy is very impressive as well. So possibly you could put him on another team where he gets more touches. Interesting to see if they're doing that. Mike Evans is going to the Hall of Fame, thinking probably he goes back to Tampa. But if the Bucs don't re-sign him, I think he's going to be interesting being out there. May have something like I could see him in a role similar to what D-Hop did last year, third down, etc. I could absolutely see that as well. Romeo Dobbs, I think, again, this is a very talented guy. Just a lot of injuries, I think, is his problem as well. So 6-5, tight end as well. So not looking for a starter, but could you be running more 2 tight ends? Again, with Declan Doyle here, maybe no fullback. That's a thing as well, and see if that's an issue. Kyle Pitts, I think, is the number one. So Kyle Pitts finally got the season that they were looking for from them. Pitts, I think, had his best season of his career last year. So it's good timing. He's going to be on the free agent market. Probably overpriced for the Ravens, but certainly they're going to keep an eye on it. Hey, this organization likes tight ends. Tight ends are definitely, if there's nothing else, they're less expensive than receivers. So if you can get a Kyle Pitts, he shows interest. I think the Ravens would have interest in that. Dallas Goedert, I think, is number 2. I think he's solid for a year no matter where he goes. I think he could go back to Philly. He could go to a number of teams. But I think he's a solid tight end no matter where he goes. Solid contributor at tight end. Isaiah Likely of the Ravens, I have number 3. I don't think he comes back. I think he's going to want more than what the Ravens are going to offer. But certainly they're going to talk to him, being that they've already had him here. So I think that could be interesting. David Njoku, kind of a lesser version of a Dallas Goedert. As a guy maybe you don't want to build around long term, but you're going to get a solid 600-700 yard season out of him. I think that's certainly possible. Travis Kelce, we're assuming he's going back with the Chiefs if he keeps playing, but he's out there, right? He doesn't have a contract, so it's worth keeping an eye on for sure. And I think on the list, obviously, our other guy, Charlie Kolar, backup tight end. I definitely think that's a little more likely for the Ravens as well. I do think again. Interesting. Flying to work. John Harbaugh in New York. Now Todd Monken in Cleveland. Both of those guys are familiar with Charlie Kolar. So good for him. He's got some options here as well. Darren Waller, I think, also too decent enough for a year. I think the only thing wrong with him, he's got to stay healthy as well for a year. Number 4, cornerback. This guy's one of the better quarterbacks in the league. I think the last time his contract came up, he was kind of in the same spot. Jamel Dean for the Bucs. I think the Bucs could franchise him, but definitely he's on the board. Why is this on the board again? Marlon Humphrey contract possibly could be getting released. We'll see as well. Awuzie, free agent. He's on the list under notable, but we'll see about him there as well. Nate Wiggins is really the only guy you have for sure back there that's a veteran as it is. So to me as well, Tariq Wooten, I think, is fantastic. It's funny. You watch, I see Nate Wiggins, I see Tariq Wooten. It would be just like what you saw a lot of the prime years of Marlon Humphrey and Marcus Peters. So we got Marcus Peters in reference. Wooten, I think, hot-headed, definitely got the stupid flag in the championship game. Very talented guy. Very confident. Kind of in that Richard Sherman, Marcus Peters type. So definitely fascinating player. So definitely you look at that. Jalen Watson, good numbers, good metrics. Some people think it's because he's in that Chiefs system. Bit of a dime, bit of a nickelback. We'll see as well. I think that's I think this is a little more realistic as far as what the Ravens would do here as well. Russell Douglas, I think, had good numbers. Anthony Weaver is certainly familiar with him playing in the Dolphins as well. Decent season last year. Sante Samuel, wondering kind of last year why I wasn't more interest. Had an injury, missed a lot of the season. Now he's back. Sante Samuel from the Squealers. Definitely going to be making some changes there. Keep an eye on Sante Samuel. He's a good player. Good player. I think it is as well. We talked about Awuzie, Mike Hilton, and Trayvon Diggs. I don't see any reason why you can't take a flyer on Trayvon Diggs. I don't see any reason. This guy a couple years ago was one of the had more interceptions than anybody. So to have him in a limited role, kind of like what you did with Zion Alexander, even though that didn't work out, but to take a shot on him, that wouldn't bother me. Mike Hilton has been just a decent cornerback for a number of teams as well. Number 3, offensive tackle. Rasheed Walker has not been franchised. I haven't heard that yet by Green Bay, but this is easy. The number 1 offensive tackle prospect, a free agent available, Rasheed Walker. He's a starter right away. Plug him in definitely as well. Not elite. Wouldn't put him in the top 5 category, but certainly good. Very, very solid as well. Good pick. I'm surprised that this hasn't got done with Green Bay. I am as well. Brendan Smith, a little more of a risk, I think, than Walker would be because he was good last year. Hasn't had a good whole career like Walker, but more recently, but I think it's definitely, again, a little surprised the Colts haven't gotten this done. But if you get a Brendan Smith, I think you could kick him in the guard as well. So I think that's pretty fascinating. These two are very, very high. These guys are starters right away. Definitely looking at tackle because of the injury history of Ronnie Stanley. So that's definitely why this is there. Also, too, you're just thin on the line in general. I mean, you definitely gotta, one of these guys, you gotta take a look at that. Former Raven Jermaine Illuminor has been solid for a couple years. Definitely a guy. I think he's a hole filler. I think you can put him in there at guard or tackle and do that. Baron Broom and Evan Neal, I think, are also options as well. Jonah Williams, Trey Pipkins. I think these guys are backup guys. So I don't think the first 2, 3 on the list, I think you could use as starters. I think the rest you can use as backups, kind of filling guys, maybe for a couple games. That would definitely give you more than what you had last year. Guard is a huge need. They cannot start Andrew Voorhees again. You cannot start Andrew Voorhees again. And then you cannot start Andrew Voorhees. All right. So just be clear with that. David Edwards, I think, is the number 1 guy out there in terms of age as well. The Bills line was pretty good. This is a solid starter. I mean, I think this is kind of at least what you need at guard, a solid starter. I do believe you need to sign a veteran, okay? That stuff. I mean, we'll do the mock draft. I mean, there isn't a lot of guards early in the draft either. Guards and things, too, are being picked earlier. They are getting more money nowadays than they used to be, and I think the Ravens have kind of lagged behind. So you need to consider this. Definitely getting a guard. David Edwards, I think, is the number 1 guy. I do think it's a drop-off after this, but I think these guys are more, after Edwards, the solid, decent starter. Patano could be really good for you, but I think it's a 1 year. Injuries are kind of hurting him a bit. Kind of same with Trevin Jenkins as well. A little bit younger, but again, injuries, ability to stay healthy. Again, decent starter. Ashley Vera Tucker for the Jets, blocking for Breece Hall in the South category. And we know the last guy, obviously, Kevin Zeitler. If you could get him for 1 more year, I don't know. I still don't know why you didn't do it last year. I'm just baffled by that. Why on earth didn't you just pry away Zeitler? I don't know how expensive that even could have been or would have been where you would have did that. Dylan Parham for the Raiders as well. That's a guy, more of a backup type as a guy. Edwards, I think, would be a long-term option. And the other guys, I think, are more 1 year starters. Last spot, I think, is the biggest need on your team, the edge rush as well. Trey Henderson is fascinating. I think there might not be one of these guys. He's certainly a top 5 edge rusher in the league. You could pick. I'll take. I mean, probably the only guy I would say just rushing the quarterback when healthy, probably ahead of him for sure would be Myles Garrett. That includes Matt Crosby, Trey. That includes anybody else you want to say. He's not as good against the run. I've always kind of noticed that. And so it'll be interesting to see in Anthony Weaver's defense as well. And this guy is available for sure. The Bengals can't franchise him again, so he's definitely out there. I think there is a drop-off after him. Jalen Phillips, I think, is fascinating. I think it's a bit of a projection, even though he's been good, but I don't know if he's great. But I think it's it'll be interesting to see. This is a guy where if you don't sign him, he goes to another team and he kind of has that. This is a guy also too, new defensive coordinator, Anthony Weaver's familiar with, played in Miami. So I definitely think that's on the radar. Very good for the Eagles this past season. Two guys Jesse Minter is familiar with, Khalil Mack and Adafi Owe. Owe definitely played well definitely played well in Los Angeles. So that's good. I'm not sure they want to bring in. I think it'll be fascinating to see. This is very interesting because Minter's here, liked him, wanted him there in Los Angeles as well, played well there. How does Eric DeCosta feel? How do they feel about Owe as well? So that's fascinating. I think an easier option would be Khalil Mack. A guy certainly familiar with the defense, 30-something years old, about 35, I think. Good one-year veteran option as well. Definitely, if you want to have a mentor guy like a Mike Green on the other side, I think that's not at all a bad idea to bring in a Khalil Mack. I think he's definitely got something there. Joey Bosa, definitely another veteran option as well. Bosa, solid with the Bills. Again, just got to stay healthy, keep him on the field. Malcolm Kuntz, Hassan Reddick there as well. Reddick, I love him as a pass rusher. Kind of everything I said about Henderson is kind of true even more with Reddick. A little bit light, I think, can't do as well against the run. Kuntz, I think, is a decent outside linebacker. I don't think he's a great edge rusher. I think he's a fallback position for one of these first five on the list. There you go. Free agents. So we're definitely going to look at free agency as far as it goes now that we're in the off season. Definitely, it's a belief that the Ravens are going to be a little bit more aggressive free agents. You were 8-9 last year. Ozzie Newsome's still there. Eric DeCosta's been hitting around. Hey, we're going to be a little bit more aggressive. We're going to try a little bit harder in free agency. So we'll see what Eric does there as well in free agency. It'll be interesting to see how that goes as well, how the Ravens do in free agents. I'm hoping that they're going to be more aggressive. This team is not good enough for saying, hey, in 2 or 3 years we're going to do this, or 8-9 years we're going to no. You absolutely need to do something right now as well. All right. We'll cover it more in depth on Sunday, but the Super Bowl is here. So we got the Seahawks and the Patriots, 16-3, winners of the NFC, Patriots, winners of the AFC as well. Mike Vrabel could be coach of the year as well. Patriots not even in the playoffs last year, finishing with the number 2 seed and winning the AFC in a snowy game. Denver Seahawks, I think, could be arguably the best defense in the NFL, best young coach, Mike McDonald on their side. We'll cover this more on Sunday. I'll go ahead and make a prediction then. These two teams, I agree with everybody saying these are mirror images of each other. I can't think of a Super Bowl in more recent years where you have two teams that are basically very similar. Quarterbacks haven't been here before. Solid young guys, proved greatly from last year. Run games, good runners by committee. Offensive lines, probably shakiest spot on each team. Seahawks have a great receiver, I think, as well. New England receiving core, not quite as good as well. Defenses on both sides, outstanding. Fronts, outstanding. Corner, safety, outstanding. both sides. So mirror images of each other as well. Two deserving teams. I think some people are gonna question the Patriots' credentials. I think a little bit easy schedule, all the stuff that's going on with Belichick and Kraft and that stuff, and a little bit of that stuff. So we'll see there, but definitely Sunday, the last game of the football season in Levi's Stadium, home of the 49ers. 6:30 is the start time as well. For those of you that watch halftime, Bad Bunny will be there singing. I will not be doing that. Get ready for my stream. And I never watch halftime, for the record. I don't care. I think maybe I watched Kendrick Lamar for a little bit, the children, but I don't generally watch halftime. I generally don't care. But definitely check it out. Sunday, the Super Bowl is on. 3:00. We're going to have the pregame as well. We're going to go over both teams as well, and we'll be on pre and post. We'll go over a little bit more in depth, but I did want to touch on that. Oh, man. Terps basketball. My goodness. You know, I've been watching 30 years. We'll go over the game. I've been watching. I was so excited to have the last interview we did. We're starting our interview series back up. We're calling it the Ravori Sports Competition. And the last one was Derek Lewis, the all-time shot blocking leader at the University of Maryland. And Derek is watching this, and he's got to be shaking his head. Is this the worst Terps team ever? We'll go there as well. But let's talk about the game first. So they lost their last three games. They lost to 91-48 to Michigan State. And they lost to Purdue, as you see, 93-63. Didn't have much to say about the Michigan State game because that was bad. Not a highlight. So let's go over this as well. This was on Sunday. Trey Kaufman-Wren. This is the name nobody here would know probably, but there was a long time ago. There was like a team called what's the tournament? Loyal Marymount. They had 2 first-round draft picks. The late Hank Gathers, who actually never played in the NBA because he had a heart condition, and Bo Kimball as well. And there was this other guy they had on the team called Per Steamer. He was like they used to call him the human bruise. He used to dive on the floor, get loose balls. Didn't score nothing, but he he was hustle. And that's kind of what I see Trey Kaufman-Wren. Scoring potential, but that's kind of what he is. 7 points, 10 rebounds in this one as well. The story of this was the guards. For the Boilermakers. They were sensational. Brendan Smith, 19 points, 6 assists. I'm a little surprised when I'm not seeing him higher on draft boards. He was totally dominant in this game, not just on the offensive side, on the defensive side. He's only about 6 feet tall, which is probably why there isn't more clamoring for him, but definitely on the defensive end, he was great. Totally shut down Dickie Coke, totally dominant on offense. 19 points, 6, totally had their way. Fletcher Lawyer was in a complete zone as well. I think I got the So Fletcher Lawyer is a senior as well. So there you go. Fletcher Lawyer is a senior. 29 points, 2 assists. Most of that was early. Again, this could have been worse. They kind of called off the dogs. I think Brendan Smith, he sat the last 6-7 minutes as well. So Terps offense just isn't there. They just don't have it as well. Andre Mills, 18.6 assists. Again, he's one of these guys that got good at times. He kind of like revs like an engine. He's got fantastic speed. Run through the lane, cut through the lane, hit the jumper, etc. But he doesn't look like he has great body control. You kind of saw that in this. He kind of at times was good, and he was good. I thought he was the best that the Terps had in this game, but he kind of had that, and it was. Solomon Washington at least is trying hard. He might be the MVP of the team certainly Buzz Williams would say, though, for whatever that's worth. He's playing hard every second he's on the court. So that's good. So, a guy, he's not a scorer. I mean, I keep saying, I mean, they're not getting a lot of scoring from other places, but he's not a scorer. He had 14 points, again, playing hard every second, putting a body on somebody. They don't have a lot of height. He's kind of playing out of position. Shout out Solomon Washington with a good effort. Darius Adams. 17 points. 17 points. 6 rebounds as well. I still like to see him put it together. I feel like he's not. You're not. I feel like he's just not putting it together all the way. I really don't. I really feel like he's just kind of drifting a bit when I see him. He's good at times, but he's not really dominant in my opinion. Not enough. Where I'm satisfied with that. He kind of is good at times, but the potential is there. I think hopefully if he can keep him, I think if you can keep him, I think there's definitely long-term potential with a guy like this. But I do think like what we've seen as of late, he's good at times. I'm sure somebody would disagree with me, but I do think he's that says it all without saying it. Let's see a little bit more. I like to see the ball in his hands, but they don't have offense. I mean, that's just facts. They just don't have. You see a team like an elite team like the Boilermakers and their organization in general. Everything Maryland isn't right now. Coach has been there for years. Guards been there. Wren, Lawyer, Brendan Smith been there for 4 years. Developed over a long period. They know exactly what they were doing on the court at all times. And the Terps look like a team like what they are. They haven't played together long. You have a new coach trying to implement a system. The coach is not sure who can play, where they can play. He's had injuries. I think if you had Pharrell Payne, you'd been better off. I'm thinking at least on offense, but I'm not so sure how much better you would have done with Pharrell Payne there as well. Is this the worst Terps team in the history? We still got a month left, so it's a little early for me to say that. But I gotta say, you're definitely trending in that direction. I had to go back. I looked up all the last 40 years for the Terps teams. So it tells you how old I am, like watching the Terps for as long. And I had to go back to have a record as bad as it is now, 1988 and 89. That's how last time Bob Wade's last season, where the Terps were like 9-20. And so that's how bad this current Terps team is currently, because that's really bad. Even that team had Walt Williams, had like a great future NBA player on it who was playing hard. If I remembering that team, Walt was at least like the shining star. You see, you had one guy right, on that team that was getting you something. Now you don't even have a Walt Williams on this. So definitely. So I definitely think your trending is the worst team that we've had 40 years. Buzz Williams. Buzz Williams, as far as that goes. Buzz, I think it's still too early to tell. As bad as it is right now, and don't get it twisted. This is not a very good team. It's still a little early to tell. They had to get rid of Kevin Willard. Kevin Willard had gotten totally toxic. Whatever you're seeing, he's already got toxic stuff going on at Villanova, even though they're decent. But they had to that had to happen. So getting a guy like Buzz Williams, Buzz is a good guy, but this team's bad. So there's no question about it. Getting a good recruiting class next year. You still have games this year. We'll see. But you're trending towards bad. I mean, these games, 30+ point losses against any good team consistently. You've lost by 30 points at least 6 or 7 times. I didn't count it, but at least 6 or 7 times you've lost by 30 points. So you're not good. All right. thank you very much there with Terps.
He's like, they lost at least 6 or 7 times, and I'm like, incoming 6 or 7 times.
Really?
Daughter's making fun of me. And that is on the podcast. I did just tell all the 36 people watching, you making fun of me. All right, thank you very much. All right. Terrible trade in the NBA before we get to baseball here real quick. Spring training starting. So we're definitely going to go full bore. Clippers trade James Harden to the Cavs for Darius Garland. I said it on Twitter. Like, we're going to talk a little bit more NBA about it. We're going to talk a little bit more. Now that the NFL is over after this week, I kind of shift more into NBA, college ball, and all that, et cetera, along with the baseball is coming up. So as well. So we'll talk a little bit more. We're not an NBA channel because Baltimore really doesn't have a team, but we will get a little bit more NBA All-Star in next week. We're going to talk about that first half awards for that. Guys are going to go first half. So, but this is a dumb trade. This is just ridiculous. I don't know why somebody wants to trade for James Harden. This guy has shown he's not the guy. There are some guys who are just there's a difference in basketball in between guys who can score and guys who are great players. I think some people, because of the success Michael Jordan had and the success Kobe Bryant had, people have now always just kind of confused the two. There used to be people used to looking at the game used to know that there's a difference. There are certain guys, Wayman Tisdale, like old school, Cedric Sabatis, volume guys, Latrell Sprewell, they were scorers. Carmelo Anthony is kind of a higher version of that. But there are certain guys that just score points, and they're James Harden doesn't give you anything else. He's going to give you anything else. Is he going to score a lot of points? Of course he's going to score a lot of points. He always does. But to give up a guy like Darius Garland for that, I don't get it. I don't know what you're doing. I got to think this kind of tells me that, and I thought Jason Smithworth said this on Twitter. Shout out Dodge Jason, that this is they're setting this up for LeBron James to come back for one last season. That's got to be it. So you're getting a little bit more cap flexibility as well. It's not even money. The money's about the same for both guys. But I don't understand why you're trying so hard to go ahead and get a James Harden at this point. He complains everywhere he goes. He scores a lot of points. He's a terrible defender. Garland, I just really like him too. Like, he hasn't been playing this year. He's lately he's had a out with the injury, but I don't know what Cleveland. The Clippers, it makes complete sense why you're doing the trade. He's not playing tonight. It's funny, they're playing Cleveland tonight. That would have been really exciting, but he's going to play tonight. That's not too unusual. I mean, if a guy just gets traded, this paperwork, this blah, 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 all that other stuff. I mean, so that's not as well, but that would have been interesting as well. Word is, rumor is that Donovan Mitchell asks for it. That's smart. So again, Harden's a good player, but this is Cleveland. I just don't get it. The Clippers have got to be elated. For making a trade like that. All right. Let's shift to the MLB top 10 list. So we're marching towards shortstop as well. Next week, spring training starts. So we're so happy about that. We'll do our State of the Franchise next week. So we're going to list the top 10 shortstops. It's funny, and I'm going to get you're going to be mad that I said this, especially Oriole fans. But I really thought about it looking at this list of shortstops. Would Cal in this era be as dominant of a shortstop as these guys now? You look at shortstops years ago, Cal's always the guy, 20 home runs, 80 RBIs, et cetera, et cetera. But you look at some of these shortstops now, and like if you play baseball in the lower levels, they always put the good players at shortstop. They put good players behind the plate. those are the two positions for sure, because those are the two most difficult positions to play defensively. Now you see shortstops, these guys, but when they would get to major league level years ago, they would kind of move the third, move the first. Now guys are playing shortstop. I mean, these is a really talented list of shortstops that we have. I even had to not put in guys. I think Darby Swanson didn't make the list, or certain guys didn't make the list because we have such a good group. So it's interesting to see. So we'll go over top 10 shortstops. We're releasing this on our social media tomorrow as well. All right, Geraldo Paramo. Hopefully I'm saying that right. For the Diamondbacks, top 10. Breakout season last season. 20 home runs, 100 RBIs, 173 hits, 290 average. Very good defensively. So if you're saying all that, why is he number 10? Well, the home runs probably came out of nowhere last year. Really, before that, really not a lot in terms of power. So is it an anomaly? I'm not saying it is, but I need to see a little bit more in terms of having him higher on this really good list. But Paramo, I think, could be a guy that they're building around. I mean, if you could keep them healthy, they're a decent enough team as well. Good hitters park, good offense there. D-backs, I think this guy's right at the forefront. Definitely had to put him in the top 10, looking at everything he did last year. Number 10, Jamel Prowl. Jacob Wilson. So definitely he can go count his money. He's definitely got a new extension with the Sacramento A's, soon to be the Las Vegas A's as well. Now, Paramo, Wilson, this is a solid 300 hitter. See him wear the A's uniform as well. And I think of A's a long time ago, Carney Lansford is a guy. This guy is a solid hitter, period. This guy's going to go ahead and hit 300. Over almost at 400 at points of last year, like 370, 380, even slumping in the second half. He finished at 311, 13 home runs, 63 RBIs. This guy's a solid hitter. I think, again, like Paramo, just a rookie last year, so still kind of waiting. Body of work, I think, over a number of years puts up this type of production. Definitely he could be higher on the list. Good defensively as well. Not a great defender, but good defensively as well. Willie Adams of the Giants. Adams, I think, is average wasn't as high as average last year. Was certainly the power, the production is there. This guy is productive. I mean, if you look at the last couple of years with him, RBIs 98, 80, 112, 87. So definitely productive for the Giants. Giants lineup is getting a little better. I'm kind of forgetting about a guy like this who's very, very productive in a Brewers uniform. They spent a lot of room with the Brewers as well. Well, definitely here's a guy who's going to be productive for you in the middle of your order. I like Adams. I think Adams, is a good, solid performer as well. Again, not great defensively, but certainly the power is going to be there. This guy's going to hit 20-plus home runs and 80 RBIs if he's healthy, if he stays healthy for a whole season. Definitely very confident of that. Speaking of staying healthy, Corey Seager, number 7. That's the only thing wrong with Corey Seager as well. Missed a lot of last season, but still hit 271, had 21 home runs, 50 RBIs, 103. I mean, that's the problem with him only. I think injuries the last couple of years with him, it kind of gives me a little pause to know how to put him any higher than this. But certainly if he was the best shortstop in the American League or baseball, it wouldn't surprise me either as well. And he's a good, solid hitter. This guy's going to hit. 23, he hit 327, 278 last year, 281 last year. Strikes out more than I like as well. Not tremendous defense, but Seager, I think, is definitely a stud. I mean, there's no question about it that this guy is an outstanding offensive player as well. Definitely, again, last two, got to stay healthy as well. De La Cruz, sky's the limit. It's still building as well. Ellie De La Cruz, I think De La Cruz, his ability to steal bases, I think, is very underrated. I think people nowadays kind of, for whatever reason, they kind of go past that like as well. But definitely in the lineup, he just got Eugenio Suarez signed with the Reds here at the last minute as well. So definitely, but De La Cruz, I think he's definitely in. He's no question about it in the MVP conversation at this point. 22 home runs, 86 RBIs, 264, strikes out a lot. That's the one thing. Strikes out a lot. He struck out 181 times last year. That's a lot. Considering that. Very aggressive hitter. I think that's the only thing as well. So definitely natural talent, got a good swing, but I think that's a thing. But other than that, everything else you love it. And certainly fun to watch. Nobody definitely as fun of watch as you can have in the league. I think he's right up there with Bryce Harper being on to watch. Mookie Betts, number 5. Gotta talk about old Spike Lee do the right thing. Mookie Betts. I would put him at second. They've been using him at short, which is fine. He's actually pretty good defensively. If you look at the stats, OAA metrics of him, they're actually pretty good. He's actually at the top of the league, which surprised me how good he was defensively, considering he spent so much of his career in the outfield. I say I put him in second only to preserve his bat. It's dipped a bit, especially as good as he's been. He is now 33. So as good as he's been, bat dipped a bit, a little more injury. So that's why I would kind of save that a little bit. But I'm not overly worried about Betts. Betts has always been a really, really good player. Certainly no reason to think that this guy can't have 30 home runs, 100 RBIs again as well. Certainly in that lineup, he's certainly got protection as well. So not going to throw dirt on Betts. Got him number 5. I think Betts, is definitely still has MVP potential written all over him as well. Maybe getting to the back end, though, as well. So you got to keep your eye on that. Trey Turner, kind of the same here as well. Trey Turner, I think, is I could say this, very, very underrated. Nobody really talks about how good Trey Turner is. All he does is hit 300 every year. All he does is take his teams, all they do is win, no matter where he's been. The Nats won when he was there. The Dodgers, of course, won. The Phillies won. Definitely is a guy. Struggled a bit at times. I think he does have slumps. I think that's why, as well. He kind of he's hot and cold more than you want to see for a great player at the plate as well. Like to see a little more thunder. I think that could be tailing off maybe. But other than that, I think Trey Turner is fantastic. I think this guy is still very underrated. Again, such a deep group of shortstops, it's hard to sometimes it's overlook a guy as good as Trey Turner is. Gunnar Henderson definitely had a down year last year, but sky's the limit for Gunnar. I think Gunnar is definitely MVP candidate here as well. Other people liked his season more than I did. I think he did suffer from the fact that he just didn't have the help around him. I think that's true. He's getting better defensively, I think, over time. I still don't love him at short. I still would rather put him at third, but that's not going to happen. He's going to play him at short. He's going to play Westberg at third. But I think he's pretty good. He's decent enough at short. I think his offense will rebound in a big way with Pete Alonso in the lineup as well. That's a thing. He's got protection. He's not going to they're not going to be able to you're not going to be able to pitch around Gunnar Henderson this year as well. Francisco Lindor was fantastic last year. I think, look, even as great as he's been, he's kind of been underrated. And that sounds crazy considering he's great, but 360, but 31 home runs, 86 RBIs, tremendous speed. I think he's not a great defender with his great speed. I kind of see a little bit of that Derek Jeter shortstop with him, like flashes, great plays, and then, and then do something I don't like. Here's another one, strikes out a lot. He had 131 strikeouts. He struck out 127 times, 4 straight years at least. So I think that's a thing. But he's a very aggressive hitter, very natural like De La Cruz, and very successful. I do think this guy definitely can win the MVP. He's got that type of talent, but he's a 5-tool player. No question about it in every area. But he's not number one because Bobby Witt Jr. of the Kansas City Royals is number one. And even on this list, I think maybe the best list of group as far as the group players, I mean, as far as position goes, he's separated. He's separated, definitely, as well. Hits for average, phenomenal defensively. He's going to hit 200, hit over 300, right around 300 every year. Great power. He doesn't even need help in the lineup to be offensive production. I'm sure he'd like to have it. I don't know how well the Royals do this year, but Bobby Witt, there's no question about it. Number one, I think definitely he's an MVP candidate. I think last year, had it not been for as good as Judge did and Cal Raleigh, just with so many more home runs, I think definitely he was certainly have no problem with Bobby Witt being in there. There you go. All right. One more segment. The breakdown. So let's go ahead and with our last segment. This is the last one of the off season. We're done. So definitely too, this is, and of course it didn't work. All right, there we go. All right, so this is the last one of the off season. So we're going to go ahead and break down the roster as well. So on the football side, we kind of do the segment right before the season starts, and we call it the hot seat. Not really a hot seat in baseball, so we'll just call this roster breakdown. How does it look? Who is where on the pecking order as far as it goes? Next week, one of my favorite ones all season, State of the Badger. The spring training is about to start. Where are the Orioles exactly as well? These guys, and again, I pick guys likely to be on the roster as well. So let's see how this goes. Guys who are likely to be on the roster and when the season starts. A couple rookies I think are going to be there. You're going to have 3. Dylan Beavers, Sam Pasayo, and Jeremiah Jackson are going to be on the roster when the season starts. Kobe Mayo, not a rookie. Technically speaking, had a rookie season, second year as well. Don't know where he's going to be. Some people say he's going to be in Norfolk. I'm finding that hard to believe that they put him in Norfolk. But we will see. There may not be a spot for him. I don't think you're going to carry 3 first basemen, and you're certainly keeping Pete Alonso. Absolutely. Albert Suarez, I don't know where to put him as well on the roster. I don't know if he completely makes the roster, starter, reliever. A lot of injuries last year. Not sure. So that's what you got there. These guys are going to be role players for you as well. Decent players. Some are starters. Some are relievers. Some are okay. These guys are not unlikely to make all-star team, but decent. Colton Cowser, Ryan Mountcastle, Tyler O'Neill, Leovidio Taveras, Cade Stroud, Colin Shelby, Dietrich Enns, Rico Garcia, Tyler Wells. You see the role there, the acting, the role as well. Cowser, I think, definitely has a chance to get bounced back. I see a lot of dirt being thrown on Cowser. How fast can we get to Bradfield and all that other? Let's see. I think Cowser is going to, let's see. Let's give him half a year. Let's see how that goes as well. Mountie, I think, probably is going to be on the team. So this is why the talk is that they're going to send Mayo down. I don't think he's going to start. I think he's going to have a lesser role, but I do think he could be the everyday DH, or at least on one side of the plate. So we'll see. He'll definitely have a role. Tyler O'Neill, I don't think he starts. I do think this is legitimately, they're not sure whether it's going to be Tyler O'Neill every day or Dylan Beavers. So I do think that's a debate as well. Whether you just want to go with Dylan Beavers, because he was fantastic, I think, at the end of last year as well. And then, or if you want to start Tyler O'Neill as well. The rest, Tavares, I think, is a good role player off the bench. Cade Stroud, Colin Shelby, Dietrich Enns, Rico Garcia, middle relievers. Put them, they come and go. I think they were solid last year. Definitely the Orioles did waste any time signing because they were decent at the end of last year. I thought bullpen was much better than it could have been, considering the gutting they did of it. So that was decent as well. Tyler Wells, I think he's actually a decent player when he's healthy. That's another one. I think you just got to get him healthy more of the time. These are solid guys. So these guys are better than role players, all right? So these guys are going to, not studs, but not all stars, but impact, but decent starters. Kittredge and Keegan, these are going to be in the 7th and 8th inning. I think these guys for sure. One of them is going to be in the 9th. If there is an injury to the closer, Ryan Helsey, as well. So I definitely think that's the case. Adley, I'm going to put in the solid starter. I definitely think he's going to be your starting catcher day one, as well. We're here now. So they haven't traded him. He's going to be back. They're going to give him every opportunity. I do think he could be trade bait just to trade him. They certainly have made the decision at catcher, having Sam Basayo there, giving him that extension. But we'll see how that goes. Zach Eflin, Shane Baz, and Dean Kramer. I definitely think they're decent. I don't know if they're going to Eflin. I don't know. It depends on what happens. What we see here with Valdez or Lucas Giolito or whatever else they're doing. I'm not sure, but they're decent enough, solid starters as well. Dean Kramer is, I think, probably could be the odd man out if they do bring somebody else in. But I think he's pretty decent. Dean Kramer has probably been your most reliable guy in terms of innings and all that, as far as lack of injuries and all that. So shout out to Dean Kramer for that. All stars. Jordan Westberg, Trevor Rogers, Kyle Bradish, Ryan Helsley, Taylor Ward. So I'm not saying these guys are going to the All-Star game for sure, but these guys, this is the level that these guys are on. Westberg, the only thing that's stopping him is injuries. The only thing. Definitely he's a guy who's for sure going to go to the All-Star game if he can stay healthy. Absolutely right. Taylor Rogers, I think, is fascinating. He came from absolute nowhere, kind of went back a little bit. Interesting to see. I think definitely he could go to the All-Star game. A lot of people consider Bradish right now our number one starter. They haven't announced the opening day yet. We'll see about that. Helsley, I think, absolutely can go to the All-Star game as the closer. Really bounced back last year as well. And Taylor Ward, I think, had over 30 home runs, totally being slept on in terms of his talent as well. Not a high average hitter, but certainly he's the guy. They thought enough for him, even having Tyler O'Neill here, to go ahead and trade him and trade away Grayson Rodriguez. So definitely, I absolutely think he can get to an All-Star. And I think here's the elite guys, your superstars. Pete Alonso, trade from the Mets. Alonso, I think, had the best year of his career. I think the Orioles had total theft bringing him in. No doubt Camden Yards that this guy is going to be fantastic. And also to Gunnar Henderson, I think is definitely going to bounce back with Peter Alonso. Definitely going to bounce back with Peter Alonso as well. I believe that this guy absolutely could be one of the best players as well in the league. I think in this category, I think Jackson Holiday will be fine. I think Jackson Holiday could go into the All-Star, but not yet. Not quite yet. 240, still like the bigger hill to climb, but I think Jackson Holiday certainly could be there. There you go. All right. Not an hour plus this time. All right, as well. Definitely check us out all week long. Driving to the Top Productions and Ravori Sports Podcast. We're going to have a lot of good stuff for you this week. Super Bowl this week. We're going to have an interview with Jeremy as well. We're going to have a lot of good interviews coming up soon as well. So we're going to be recording two this weekend. Definitely won't say who. Long-time Orioles podcaster. So definitely going to check him out. Definitely a guy also to got him lined up from definitely we're going to talk Browns when we have him here. So as well, definitely going to do that. Definitely, I know a lot of you guys here sports. Definitely check out our Ravori Sports rebrand. Check it out. It's going to be fantastic. The website, everything like that. Get Ravens hats like this one. I'm sporting them again here. I started sporting them again on camera. Thank you, all of you. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Olympics this week for those of you that watch downhill skiing and all that other fun stuff. Y'all have a great day.